The garage of a vacant home at the intersection of Valdez and Skinner was engulfed in flames today. Corpus Christi Fire Department responded to the call around 1:30 this afternoon. The firefighters extinguished the blaze coming from the detached garage. Officials say there were no utilities connected to the abandoned structure, so the fire had to start from an outside source. We spoke with Robin McGill with the Corpus Christi Fire Department, and he says it's not uncommon for homeless people to look for a place to stay warm during the winter.
During the winter months, a little bit more so with the homeless population because they're trying to get out of the cold, and they'll make fires inside of the structure to keep warm, and sometimes accidents happen. If it's intentional, that's something entirely different.
McGill says they're still investigating to pinpoint an exact cause.